Now, there's two different ways to understand intercommunal relations in Cyprus. The one is the Greek Cypriot narrative, which tends to see intercommunal relations as to have been very peaceful. So there's this long history of peaceful coexistence, and then a rupture, more often than not explicable by divide and rule policies of the British. The Turkish Cypriot official narrative tends to emphasize conflict rather than peaceful coexistence. As with any sort of historical issue, the truth is somewhere in the middle.
The aim of the Critical History Archive project is really to, let's say, complicate people's interpretations of history, which have tended to be quite one-sided. And so what we would like to do is to show different ways in which those same events can be looked at from a more local level.
The project started roughly about a year ago, in December 2010. We started collecting material from Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot newspapers.
We aim to collect all available information about intercommunal relations and ethnic-related violence from 1955 to 1964.
We're simply making a resource available to researchers and the general public that will allow them to see the different points of view in Cypriot history. We're not here to offer answers, we're here to facilitate the asking of questions.
Well, historical interpretations have been different largely because even as events were happening, the information that people had and their perceptions of those events differed. The vast majority of the people don't read the other's language, even when sometimes they would speak it. So that meant that the way that they were able to perceive and interpret those events was quite different.
It's a little bit problematic to just take one period of the history of Cyprus, but it is actually one of the most controversial because it's the period that the intercommunal violence and ethnic clashes started.
What we tend to explore in our work is the ways in which peaceful coexistence and conflict were part of the same interaction. Part of this process is to photograph or digitally reproduce articles that are pertinent to the topics that we're researching. A second stage of the project will be to look at archival sources, oral accounts, documentaries, films, anything that helps us concentrate perceptions of intercommunal relations in Cyprus during this period.
Our aim is to make more information more readily accessible so that people can undertake projects that they may not have been able to undertake before.
We have one particular event from 1956. If you click on the events, you will see all the details, and then here we have a few examples of different reportings of that particular event. So any users of the database will be able to perform multiple searches. There will be tagging, there will be geolocation. The user has access to all the reports on this particular event, and they can go and read the details. We want to offer as comprehensive and as multidimensional a resource as possible.
We actually hope that this project will promote dialogue between the two communities because if we would like to establish peace, we have to confront the past. And the period we are working on is a very critical period in that sense.
We would like future generations to see this resource that we are making available as an endowment, as a way to understand the history of Cyprus and ask different questions about how and why all these events, all these traumatic events in the history of the island have taken place, and conduct historical research that enhances the public understanding of the past of the island.